I want to talk about our Patreon campaign.
Okay.
We are starting a Patreon campaign. So if you're watching this, you're either watching us live or you're watching us on Patreon, on the front page of Patreon. And let's talk about our journey together, Paul. Paul joined the show about 3 years ago.
Yep.
We met at a bar. He mocked my droid. What did I have? A Motorola Droid.
You got the original. It was the Motorola Droid.
Yes, and you
Like
mocked
the first
me.
One with that gold fingerprint thing on it.
I still have it somewhere. I got to find it.
Yeah.
Paul mocked me, and ever since then, we've been best of friends. Best of friends.
So many of my friendships have started, sadly.
Over you mocking people?
It's me mocking somebody and then, hey, what are you doing next
Yeah.
weekend?
So we've been doing the show for a couple of years now, and the show has grown to an unbelievable amount. I'm so surprised on how many people watch from every part of this country, world, pretty much. Every part of this country, too. A lot of Canadians, guys. I see you guys in Canada. Saskatchewan, especially.
I can see your house from here.
Yeah. We have a 98% approval rating in Saskatchewan, Canada. But we want to continue.
They're so nice there.
They're so nice. But we want to continue growing the show. And a way that we have figured out we could do that is by creating a Patreon campaign. And what Patreon is, it's a crowd-funded project, much like Kickstarter, but it's generating constantly. So the campaign never ends. You guys fund it and you guys commit to whatever the amount is that you want to commit to. And that is what we get per show. And that's how we're setting it up. So all we're asking for technically is $1 a show. If you like the show, you want to support the show, you could give us $1. We're not canceling the show. We're not going to make it a premium show. But we are going to offer people who pledge to us on Patreon bonus shows. Like Paul and I, after the show, we will sit down and pretty much do like another 30 minutes of content. We'll talk about whatever. Paul and I like World War II. We talk about aliens. We talk about drinking. We talk about beer.
Right.
So all these things that we talk about after the show that we've been kind of throwing away because we don't record, we're going to create into its own podcast. We don't have a name yet, but we're going to create it into something for the people that pledge for the Patreon campaign. Also, some of the other things that are going to change is I know a lot of people love it when we don't really have an ad on the show. We're going to stick with Audible because that is part of the show. It's always been part of the show, and actually people enjoy our Audible spots. But we kind of want to make it ad-free. If you're watching on Patreon, you can scroll down and see what the goals are and what happens when we reach those goals. Another thing is the live stream. We want to make it ad-free also. Those mid-rolls and pre-rolls, we want it to go away. And we need to make it ad-free. But in order to do that, it actually costs some money. It's not as cheap as people think it is. Someone in the chat room says, a alien drinking show. Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. We're listening. That's what we're going to do.
I'll wear that antenna headband thing.
Also, we're going to have a ton of bonus stuff also that Paul and I plan on doing. Another idea was that we would do a bonus show just totally separate from all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And another thing that Paul had pitched an idea was if we reach a certain goal, you guys get a copy of his book.
Yep.
That's another thing that we're going to put in. So if you're watching on our page, look at the goals. We're asking for $1. If you want to donate more, we are not going to tell you not to. We're not saying no. You can donate whatever you want per episode. And you're not going to be charged for more than 4 shows a month. We're not going to pull something over you and say, okay, we're doing 4 shows.
August does have 5 Fridays or 5 Tuesdays.
Because I know I got a message from someone that said, hey, what happens if you guys decide, hey, I'm going to do 8 shows because these guys have pledged, $20 a show. Now we're not going to do that. We're going to do 4 shows. If the bonus content is going to be bonus content that goes to the people that pledge. And it could be anything.
I do like that someone's already looking for contract loopholes.
Yeah, that's the amazing part.
Abuse the system. We thought we'd ask you for money, and then we thought we would abuse you.
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been sending donations through PayPal. If you have, let me know, and I will provide you with the bonus content. You don't worry about it. Or I'll cancel that, whatever you guys are doing, and you guys could just pledge to Patreon. But I'm really excited for this. I think that we could kind of grow the show the way that we want to do it, uninterrupted. Another thing that we were considering is if we start generating extra funds, we'll extend the show a little bit. We'll add more to the show. So the opportunities are endless. The things that we want to do are endless. Nothing is set in stone. If you guys have ideas, That's something that we want to listen to. The other thing was the phone call show. We had done a test show a couple months ago. People gave me their input. Some people liked it, some people didn't. So what I was thinking we would do is have a call-in show where it's not like, hey, Paul, I got a Zune Touch or Zune HD, and I'm having this issue with it. How do I fix it? No, it'll just be about technology, and you chit-chatting with us and talking about what you guys like and what you don't like. That's going to be a bonus show for the Patreon campaign, and it'll broadcast live for the people that are doing the Patreon, which, by the way, it could be anything. We're asking for $1. If you want to do more, you could. If you want to do less, that's possible too. You could do that too. So we're not forcing you to anything, and nothing is going to change with the show. It's not like Paul and I are going to be like, Paul, it's that free show.
Right. Let's deliver 13 minutes of babbling and get this over with.
Let's make this one extra crappy to prove a point. Nothing like that is going to change. Right. Maybe more drinking shows, because we're doing that right now, and we enjoyed the drinking show. Maybe a drinking call-in show.
Although,
if we generate...
I don't know if we want Andrew recommendations.
Yeah. I have this idea. If we generate $5,000 per show, Paul and I will have a one-on-one basketball game.
Wow. And I want to be very clear about what's going to happen, because I will take you to the hall.
If I win, Paul has to wear an Apple shirt. The one with Steve Jobs in the middle of the Apple logo.
Yeah. I feel comfortable about this.
And if I lose, Paul has to come up with something. I don't know what I could do, because I already embarrass myself on a regular basis. So we'll figure it out. So we'll have like crazy goals, if it's working out, if you guys enjoy it. Or if not, listen, if you're not going to pledge, no problem. Nothing happens. Nothing changes. Just Paul says, another failed attempt, Andrew. And then he hits me.
Right.
So that's our Patreon campaign. That's what we're hoping, and we hope that you guys would join in on the fun.